So this is my submission for the first round of the 2016 NYX Face Awards. If you like this video and you want to see me go further in this competition, then please go to NYXFaceAwards.com and vote for me. With this round's fairy tale theme, I chose to become the Lady of the Lake from King Arthur legends and fairy tales. The Lady of the Lake is the beautiful enchantress from beneath the surface of the water who bestows Excalibur to King Arthur. Though she is often described as a beautifully ethereal woman clothed in white with long hair, I took this opportunity to turn up the etherealness a few notches. So, taking inspiration from the fact that she is the ruler of Avalon and also an aquatic dweller, this is how I chose to portray her. I'm going to begin by taking my normal blue eyes and turning them into big blue eyes using circle lenses. Then we're going to be gluing down just the tail end of my eyebrows because they are not going to be part of the design. There's going to be a smooth part overlapping. And I'm even going to smooth some glue down just to get that hair extra flat. You can even smooth it over with a bit of water to get a better finish. Once the glue is dry, I'm going to set that with NYX's green color correcting powder, and then I'm going to be using their mineral stick foundation to smooth over the eyebrow a little bit more and conceal it. I'm using the one in the shade Porcelain, and it's super creamy so you can even melt it into your skin with your finger. Next, I'm going to mix together teal, blue, and white face and body paint and cover my face, my ears, my neck, my shoulders, and eventually my arms, but I do that later. I need this as a base for my character because she's very aquatic. Next, taking NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk and a blending brush, I'm going to be gently highlighting my face. Painting it will have made it look very flat, so I'm going to add a bit of dimension by doing this. Ignoring that glaringly blue chunk of hair to the left of the screen, I'm going to highlight everywhere and then eventually get down to my collarbone as well. Now we will be using this NYX Ultimate Brights palette a couple times, starting with this teal shade right here. I'm going to use this as a transition shade to begin my contouring. Even though I'll go in with crazier colors later, this will just make the contour look more gradual and therefore more realistic in a way. You'll notice that I left the eye area completely blank. Now we're going to go in with NYX's Lid Lingerie in the shade Rose Pearl. And we're putting that just on the lid below the crease in a neat little half moon sort of shape. Then I'm taking NYX's Prismatic eyeshadow in Golden Peach and I'm packing that on top of the lid. Then in a color blocking type of motion, I'm going to be filling in the area above the lid very gently and then smoothing that over with a dense brush. After those edges are smooth, we're going to go back into the NYX Ultimate Brights palette and I'm going to be grabbing just a standard green color and I'm going to be deepening my contour with that. I especially want this green contour pronounced around the nose, a little bit under the mouth, and then in the cheekbone area. I'm being ultra careful on the type of contour I'm doing though, since it leads to my chin, because if you overdo that, it can look rather masculine. Once I've shaded the temples and the collarbone and the décolleté area, I'm ready to go in with a secondary contour color. And for that, I will be using the NYX Prismatic eyeshadow in the shade Blue Jeans. And I won't be using this contour everywhere, but I will be going up underneath the jawline, a little bit down the neck, just to add more depth to the blue of my skin. I'll be going up into the cheekbone hollow area to give it more depth as well, and this added definition makes it look really pronounced. I'll also be shading the top of my forehead. I'm also shading the side areas above my collarbone to make my neck look longer. Moving on to the NYX's Ombre Blush in the shade Codebreaker, I'm going to be mixing the purple and the pink together to get a little bit of a pinky glow on my cheekbones. Then hopping back to the eye area, we're going to be taking the NYX Prismatic eyeshadow in Punk Heart, and we're going to be using that in the crease to really deepen the brow bone. Then I'm going to be grabbing NYX's Glitter Primer, and we're going to be putting that all over the lid area, only up to the crease. And we're going to be using two glitters. One is in the shade Gold, and one is in the shade Rose. The pinky rose one is going to go first on most of the lid, and then the gold one will be placed on the innermost part of the lid. This will really make my eyes look shimmery and like they're wet. Then taking NYX's colored felt tip liner in the shade Royal Blue, I'm going to be putting a thin line near my lash line, and it's going to be thin mainly because I don't want to eat up all my lid space since I have hooded eyes and I prefer to show off all that glittery goodness. Then taking NYX's Aqua Luxe Liquid Liner in Glam Azure, I'm going to be lining a bit of a cut crease. And then once I'm finished with that, I'll be taking that eyeshadow from earlier and just deepening the crease with it. Then I prep my lashes with NYX's Le Chick Flick mascara, and then I use the falsies that are called Corrupt. Gorgeous. Moving on to some water inspiration, I'm taking white body paint and very gently applying these sweeping lines to my face structure. The top ones on my forehead remind me of what would occur if you kind of rose out of the water, slowly projecting forward. So that's why I chose to angle them like this. And then the rest are just flattering to the general contour of the face structure and then feel kind of watery in the way that they flow. I also added some flowing lines to the neck and upper torso area as well to bring the look together. Now time for one of my favorite eyeshadows in the world, NYX's Prismatic eyeshadow in Mermaid. I'm going to be highlighting with this. That's a weird thing to say. I'm going to be highlighting with a prismatic green eyeshadow. But it's so beautiful, and it actually makes my character look like she's glistening. Next, I'm taking the NYX's Slide-On Liner in Sunrise Blue, and I'm going to be putting that on the lower lash line, following up with the Primal color in Hot Blue mixed with Blue Jeans to smoke it out. And then back to that Mermaid eyeshadow again, my baby, to highlight a few more key areas. I also fill in my waterline with the same pencil. Now it's time to make my crown. I'm going to use NYX's Vivid Brights liner in Vivid Escape as a base. I'm using this first below the gold because I found that it helped fasten it on top of the body paint, whereas the gold liner kind of wanted to slide on it. And since King Arthur legends are said to have Celtic origins, I created a crown that's kind of loosely based on that feel by looking at Celtic symbols. Then taking the Glam Aqua Luxe liquid liner in the shade Glam 24 Karat, I'm going to go over top of what I've originally drawn with this crown, and I'm going to make it, shimmery and gorgeous. And I'm also going to take this opportunity to correct edges and make everything a little bit more neat and symmetrical. Then using the hot blue eyeshadow from earlier, I'm taking the thinnest angled brush I have, and I'm going to be creating a shadow underneath the crown to make it look more real. And I'm pretending I have a light source from the top right, so some of the shadows will come out from underneath the bottom left. Then I chose to adorn this crown with a druzy stone rather than a typical jewel because that looks more earthy and old world to me. Now for the lips, we're going to start with the NYX's Slide On Liner in Esmeralda to just fill them in and give us a base for that lipstick to grip to. And then the lipstick we will be using over that is NYX's Wicked Lippy in the shade Scandalous. Then we're using NYX's Glitter Primer again because we're going to prepare for some lip sparkles. And we're going to be using the shades Teal and Ice. First, I'm going to be taking Teal with a very finite detail brush, and I'm going to be putting that on the outer edge of my lip very neatly. And then I'm going to be patting Ice in the center of the lip, and then all over the upper lip. Now taking NYX's white eyeliner and a gold eyeliner from earlier, we're going to be adding some more details, like gold to the upper lip, and then into the inner tear duct with some dotting along the edge of the outer eye. Then with the white eyeliner, we're going to be doing details all over the face. We're going to be adding smaller dots in between the lines that we created earlier. And because this is a more opaque white than the paint we use, they really pop out. And then we're going to also accent the upper lip, where the Cupid's bow area is, as well as the eyebrows, which we've pretty much muted with paint. And then lastly, we're going to be adding like a trickling dot effect down the top of the forehead, ending in smaller dots than what we started with. Now I'm putting NYX's colored mascara in blue on the lower lash line. And then to add some last details, we're going to take that felt blue liner from earlier, and we're going to line underneath the gold on the inner lid and soften it out. I'm also taking NYX's Primal Color eyeshadow in the shade Hot Fuchsia and popping a little bit on the outer lid to tie it back in with the cheek color. Now it's time to let your hair down. Put your hair back up, because we need to put it in a wig. And now you're an ethereal underwater enchantress with a tendency to hold on to advanced weaponry. That's a mouthful. So, as I said earlier, this is the first round of the NYX Face Awards, and in order for me to progress in this competition, I need your votes so I can make it to the top 20 and be part of the next round. There are so many talented people in this competition, and I would love to be one of the people that moves forward with them. Therefore, if you like what you see and you want me to advance, please go to NYXFaceAwards.com and vote for my video 3 times a day per email. I thank you to everyone who has encouraged me and shown support in this competition so far, and being able to express my type of creativity with this theme was of course a challenge but also a dream come true. If you happen to share this video or a picture on Instagram, please hashtag it with Team Faye to show your support. Bye bye my little sweet potatoes.